And if I seem a little sluggish, it's because I'm tired. We had a
Yeah,
call
dude, you had a call late last night, right?
super late, bro. Midnight to like 2 a.m. ish.
Were you on? Was your shift just ending, or were you on call all night?
So like we work 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. So we were in the middle of sleeping,
Mm.
and the call had came out a little after 11:30, and this wasn't in our district; it was in our neighboring district. So it was a mutual aid call. They were like, "Oh, this thing is a little more than what we can handle," so they had called for us,
Mm-hmm.
and we get there, and it's like a double wide or a trailer of some sort that they were using for storage, and then they had, I guess, a newer trailer because this one was from like the 70s. Like this was an old tin house
Yeah.
trailer that they happened to be using for a dog house slash storage. Like this dog had basically,
Okay.
because they had 2 dogs in there, and I say had because it was a fire, aka a dog barbecue. So yeah,
No.
and I didn't know that. So I'm stepping on this thing and I'm thinking, hey, what is this rolled up rug just sitting here by the front door? And I'm stepping on it and I'm like, this thing is mushy and we haven't even sprayed water on here yet. And yeah, so the old foghorn leghorn's a chicken, but yeah, he that dog got done extra crispy. So
Yeah.
uh,
Look, as a dog lover, that breaks my heart.
as a person who I'm not a dog guy, but I do understand and respect the relationship that people have with dogs. I felt bad,
Yeah.
and I was like, man. And the kids were kids were out there. I was just like, I was like, that dog is gone, man. And like I just like we just sat there, and I was like, I don't know what to do. So we just took the fire hose and kind of just sprayed it and just washed it down the washed it down the other side of the hall.
So since this was like a mutual call, but like a
Hmm.
neighboring district, you said, do you get there and do you talk shit to the other company, or you're like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you
that's
can
part of
handle
the.
this yourself? You
Yeah,
know? Like,
basically one of
yeah,
those things.
yeah,
You wait till like the real danger. Like obviously the place is on fire, so like you want to
yeah.
make sure
Put
everything's
that out first.
put
Yeah.
it out first. Once
You
everything's
don't
under
like show up.
control.
You're just like, so pussy couldn't handle this
Yeah,
yourself, huh? All right, I'll get to it. You know.
just give me the nozzle, you fucking punks. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like that. It's like, all right, we're gonna do the job, we're gonna do the work. Hey, what do you want us to do? Rip off the siding of the trailer. Cool, we did that. Once everything was under control, then the jokes commenced.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my night. So if I seem a little slow and tired, it's because I didn't get much sleep because I didn't really go to
You're too
sleep
busy
after
doing
that.
hero shit.
Yeah, just being a hero and
That's it.
um yeah, fighting fire and barbecuing dogs, and
Oh.
now we get to talk about sports.
Sports.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stuff About Sports. I am the Facebook felon Germ. Minus 7 days until I'm bike on Facebook.
They let you back at this
If they
point.
let me,
I
yeah,
mean,
no, I mean, this is
Jesus,
bad,
it's
man.
yeah,
Yeah, the oversight board knows my name. They got pre-printed Germ sheets just
all
ready
over.
to go.
Yeah, yeah. If this
Uh,
man even breathes on a post, he's done.
I'm done. So I have flirted with just starting over. It's like my Instagram account got purged, and I had to start over with that, and that's a challenge because similarly with my Facebook account, I've had it since it started. So like I have like military friends, old friends that I kept in touch with that I can't find now, and it's like I can't find them. And Instagram and Facebook changed how you were able to connect your contacts. So there's like I'm screwed. So I'm like actually terrified to start over, but that might be something I might be kind of.
I feel like you should
pigeonholed in.
just, since you've been there since it started, you should just be like grandfathered into like a legacy account. I mean,
I
we've
wish.
been on it since Zuckerberg was rating girls on it. I mean, let's
Yeah.
be honest here. I mean,
When he was
second
over there
this
in
thing came out, I mean, we jumped on it. At this point, it's just like just stop.
Yeah, I mean, when you were, come on, Zuck, when you were over there in China picking your wife out of whatever vending machine you got out of. Oh, sorry, you can't make jokes about. Okay, all right. I'm trying to be a better person, but
this is why you're in Facebook jail.
that's why I'm in Facebook jail. But
Yeah.
it's true. They do that over there. And of course, I'm joined by my brother from another, the prettier Corey, Bert. Bert, man, what's up, man?
Nothing, man. Just another week. You know, another week, more sports. NBA playoffs are here. NHL
lovely.
playoffs are almost here, and wide receivers in the NFL love talking shit when they haven't done anything yet. So
Unbelievable, right? We'll get to Debo Samuel and his
yeah,
nonsense. I mean, I don't get, and it's not just him. There's a lot of receivers actively saying, "Hey, we're not playing unless we get an extension," just because the receiver market blows up. Because I'm guessing Devontae Adams, I'm guessing for some of these other players,
yeah,
it's like there's a part of me that understands, but there's like another bigger logical more part of me that says you have to honor your contract, bro. Like, this is just the way, like, you go to bed and you're the highest paid guy, and then you wake up and you could be the lowest paid guy, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And you
yeah.
just, you can't always be up to what the market number is all the time. You have to, there's ebbs and flows to contracts and pay wages and pay studies. They happen all the time. And it's very frustrating if you're a fan, especially of a fan, if your team is like on the brink, right? Like if your team is like, okay, we made it to the conference semis, and yet now our star receiver is crying about his money. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good heading into the season at all.
No.
Which brings us to the NFL. There's been a lot of offseason moves. My Buffalo Bills shoring up our defensive line, adding Von Miller, best pass rusher in the game. But it led me to ask, Bert, what offseason NFL move do you still want to see? Was there a rumor? Was there something that almost happened that you want to see happen? Or is there a team that you thought was going to make a move and didn't? Is there something that kind of sticks out to you?
There's two. So there was a rumor I was really hoping would become true, and it's really more of like a pipe dream for many individuals. And I just wanted to see it happen just to happen. But I'm talking about that rumor of Tom Brady going to the Miami Dolphins. The second it came out, even Dolphin fans were like, "Bro, there's no way this is happening."
Yeah.
Obviously, he still had one more year with the Bucks when he had retired.
Yeah.
But man, if that could have happened, I don't know what I'd laugh my ass off and enjoy it all at the same time. Dolphin fans
great.
would have rejoiced, and I just would have loved. I would have sat back and enjoyed the drama through and through. And there's Tom Brady again, just finding himself back in the conference he wants to beat up on the teams he was beating up on. But what I would like to see happen still, and there's still time for it, is I want to see Baker Mayfield land with a contender. I do think he's worth another shot for another franchise. I still think he's better than a lot of the quarterbacks that are out there. And I know rumors have been flying if he was going to make a deal with the Steelers. I personally would love to see him go to Pittsburgh or even Miami too, because I think Tua is trash. But man, that is one move that I do still wish will happen. I think someone needs to give him at least one more year.
Baker, I said this earlier that Miami would be a lot better off with Baker Mayfield right now than they would be with Tua. I do also think that Baker being traded, the problem is the team that I thought would be best for him traded for Matt Ryan, and that would be the Indianapolis Colts. So I do want to see him traded now. If that is to happen, I kind of want him to go to Tampa Bay. And I think right now the window of him going into a team and competing to start or being a starter is over. Yeah, I think he needs to set his sights on doing what Mitch Trubisky did. Go pick a team that has a coaching staff you trust. Hey, which quarterback is benefiting the most from its coaching staff, so I can go there and learn, like Mitch did, and he's going to parlay that. And I think Mitch is going to do really good in Pittsburgh. I think he learned a lot. Me, because I'm tapped into the Buffalo Bills, practice market. Like I'm always reading reports and trying to see who's doing what. Mitch Trubisky has got nothing but glowing reviews. Since day one. So they to the point where the head coach said if, God forbid, Josh Allen went down for the year, they were extremely confident they could have ended up in the same spot they were in with Mitch Trubisky. So obviously that's the coach is going to big up his guy. But McDermott and the Bills do a really good job with talent development, as evidenced by Josh Allen and a couple of their other players. So the move that I, of course, would love to see, Bert, is I would love to see a team sign Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
I would love to see and there was two for me too. That's the one, that's the pipe dream. That's the one that I know has no shot of happening, but I think that would be great if Seattle brought him in. I think that would be great if the Patriots, or somebody. I mean, there's teams out there that could use a quarterback. Like if Cam Newton is able to get trotted out there every year, and Geno Smith is able to get trotted out there every year, and Nathan Peterman is allowed to have backup jobs, I'm not saying that Colin Kaepernick, like, I got it right and everybody else got it wrong. I don't know if he can play still, but I would love to see him get the opportunity. Let him go. If he sucks, let him go in there and suck and not make the team.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a really good moment for the NFL if a team signed him. And I do think, I mean, considering the backups that are in the league now, I don't see why he couldn't be a backup.
I mean, he had that he had that like small combine he did himself to try to get scouts out there last year, and there's a lot of hype around it and a lot of negative press about him just not having it anymore. I mean, worst case scenario, I don't understand why a team just doesn't invite him to camp and see what happens. If you got to cut him, cut him. At least you're doing it for legit reasons, and at least the scouts and reporters who are watching those squads will be able to tell, is he keeping up with the other backups that are out there? I mean, why not? And worst case scenario, sign him to a practice squad. I think, unfortunate to say, I just think that although the NFL has changed their stance on his opinion, and many teams have too, I just think people or teams are just scared to sign him, or he's been blacklisted for some reason. I mean, he still looking athletic is one thing and actually performing, but I mean, I'm no expert, but even the clips he's loaded up still look like he can certainly throw a ball. He can still play. So why not see what it looks like in a team format too?
Yeah. The best move for him, I think, right now, is to be the face of the XFL. I think that's what he should. I think that should be that would be a smart thing, because they're year-to-year contracts. You get a year to prove that you can play. You're playing against professional players. It's not the USFL. It's not the fan-controlled football league. These are higher caliber players that are fringe NFL players or backup NFL players that are just needing the reps. And I think for him, missing 5 or 6 years of NFL football, that'll be a good barometer to see if he can still actually do it. The second move that came to mind for me is I would love to see the Giants trade Saquon Barkley. And I would love him to get traded to the Buffalo Bills.
Of course. Weird.
Yeah, I mean, going out on a limb, Bert, I would love to see Saquon Barkley get traded, or Christian McCaffrey, one of the two. I don't care who.
I mean, pick a running back that'll get hurt week 4. I mean, either one. And then, look, as much as I think McCaffrey is obviously a beast, and as a Giant fan, Saquon is all we have. Let's be completely honest with you. I mean, so will they trade Saquon? Probably not.
Right.
They need to obviously fill those seats with something, and they need the jersey sales. And I mean, he's been the best we had when it comes down to a skill player in a while. And he would be great if we had a solid offensive line, and and he still put up really good numbers in his first 2 years too. But look, every year I say this, hopefully this year is better. He stays healthier longer, and the O-line fixed their problems. But I mean, I'm 50% on Danny Dimes and going back and forth. And in order to be a successful football team, you have to have a strong run game, but you also have to have a good pass game too. You have to take the pressure off of the running back. He can't. I mean, a running back shelf life is what, 3 years, 4 years, if that. Yeah. You can't keep overworking this guy when his window is closing.
The good news is Brian Dable doesn't believe in running the football, so you're probably going to see Saquon Barkley record amount of pass catching opportunities and screen passes in your near future, Bert. So switching gears over to the NBA, this has been a topic of much discussion. I've been on friends of the show, This Just In, and Goat Talk with Marcus, pleading my case, Bert, about who the NBA MVP is.
You say pleading your case. Let's call it what it is. You've been on a campaign politicking.
Yeah, I've been politicking. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you have valid reason to. I think if the polls were up there, I think you'd be ahead.
I would be ahead. And there's one simple reason, Bert. Those other guys, and I love Justin, and I love Dwayne Marcus, but they're wrong. All right? That's the simple fact that they're wrong. Actually, Dwayne Marcus is on my side. It's JT from JT and the Don. So shout out to Dwayne Marcus. He's actually on my side. It was JT from JT and the Don and Justin from This Just In. The Microsoft Excel spreadsheet pocket protector posse out there that has to break down advanced analytics and all this other boring nonsense to justify why Nikola Jokic is the MVP for them, just because his VORP. Sweet VORP, bro. Guess who was the top 5 in scoring all year? Number 1, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's a better defender. And I mean, if you have to use all these algorithms to prove your point, that right there is exactly why you lost. It's like when people get into arguments. You ever get in an argument in your young 20s, Bert, and somebody, or you hear somebody get in an argument and somebody says, well, how much money do you make, bro? Or I make this much. Once you start bringing up shit that has nothing to do with the argument, like money or I have this car, you lost. Yeah. That's so once the moment I see your calculator come out when we're talking about NBA MVP, I'm going to assume that you're a doof. And that's you, Justin. And that's you, JT and the Don. So do you want to take your spreadsheets and go wipe your tears off? Joel Embiid is more exciting. Nikola Jokic played 0 minutes, Bert, in the NBA All-Star Game's fourth quarter. Now, I felt the collective eye rolls when I mentioned the NBA All-Star Game.
Yeah.
But the most important quarter, Bert, of the NBA All-Star Game is indeed the fourth quarter. That's literally the only quarter that the best players that were voted the best players in the NBA actually play hard. And so that is a good barometer of who people want to see. Guess who was out there, Bert? Joel Embiid. Guess who was sitting on the bench? Nikola Jokic. All right. He's losing in his playoff series, by the way. He's 0-2.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid's winning his playoff series 2-0. It's just, I don't want to hear it. So all you idiots out there trying to talk to me about VORP and shooting percentage and all this other nonsense.
Does he lead all categories or
no? He doesn't.
Okay.
He's not top 5 in any of he doesn't lead the league in any statistical category. I think he's top 5 in like assists and maybe rebounds, but it doesn't matter. His team, he struggled to be a 6th seed all year, and everybody's going to say he's missing his best players. But he has players that are able to score 40 points. It happens. Mike says, love the shirt, Jerm. Yeah, I'm going to plug this later. Here you go. This is our Mike times Jerm one-off special that Mike is traveling. He's in Myrtle Beach right now, and I apologize because it's unseasonably cold down here for some reason. It was
Stop
like 50.
apologizing for the weather.
I have to because I've been
all things you can apologize for. It's the weather.
Well, no, I feel bad because I've done nothing but hype the Carolinas up to you guys and in a long shot appeal to get all of you to move down here. And the only thing I really got is the weather and cost of living. But
I mean, yeah, you had me at marsh fire. So
I mean, it's very dangerous here. Obviously, there's burnt up dogs and marsh fires. So maybe don't exactly move to where I live, but there's plenty of surrounding areas that are great. But yeah, so Bert, Nikola Jokic, he's boring. That's the other part of it. You know why he doesn't get many national games? Because nobody wants to see a 7-foot lumbering Sasquatch guy jack up 3-pointers. You know what I mean? And I do have a soft spot.
Who wants to watch that in basketball?
No, nobody. Joel Embiid did a turnaround fadeaway 3-point jumper the other night. I mean, enough of this nonsense. I love you, JT from JT and the Don. I love you, Justin from This Just In, but you're wrong. So you and the rest of the Pocket Protector posse, put away your spreadsheets, put away your calculators. Nobody cares about advanced analytics in basketball. Watch the game. I watch the game. I don't know what you guys do. I watch the game. You watch the box score. And that's how you determine MVPs.
When do they when do they vote for MVP? When does that come out?
So Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks, who actually I wouldn't argue as much if they said he was the MVP because he's deserving, and Jokic is deserving. It's just to me, Embiid's had to deal with way more than Jokic did.
Yeah.
But those are the 3 finalists. I believe the final voting will happen either end of May or beginning of June.
So after the season,
after the season
is over, okay.
And you're not supposed to count the playoffs, but a lot of these writers do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's appropriate.
And it should be. You should count the playoffs, and which works out swimmingly for my guy because Jokic is getting ejected from games and playing bad, and Embiid's killing it out here. So the next thing, Bert, your neck of the woods.
Let's go.
Listen.
Let's go.
Macklemore. Shout out to Macklemore, who's still with us. I just learned this day. I don't know. For some reason, I felt like Macklemore died like 4 or 5 years ago, and I had to look it up. And I was thinking of Mac. I was thinking of Mac Miller. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. No,
so I was like, wait. I was like, wow, the Macklemore Foundation and his name. Like I didn't know. I thought he was from like Chicago or Detroit.
This is the Seattle homegrown Macklemore, independent rapper, didn't sign to label, made it big with his albums with Brian Lewis, and was in that NFL commercial with Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
see that's Russell Wilson's bird. You know,
that is Russell Wilson. They're moving in on your stuff, buddy. I mean, you moved to Denver and they let Macklemore come in and take. That's supposed to be you and Marshawn, and you let Macklemore down. He's from Kent, Washington, right down Interstate 5. I didn't even know interstates had single-digit numbers. That's how crazy it is over there. And quick little 40-minute drive to Kent from Seattle. So basically, Bert. How did when this news came out, and of course Marshawn Lynch drove the Zamboni around the ice.
That was, and he did it with I guess the guy that manages Zambonis in their practice rink, like literally riding on it, and the calmness that dude showed when Marshawn's just literally doing donuts in his Zamboni. I didn't even know that they could do that. I didn't even know that they had that capability.
Me neither.
He looked super comfortable. He looked like he'd been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you had it all under control. And you had, obviously, the entire press team and everybody else just laughing about it as they're video recording it. I thought it was awesome. But, dude, when I saw this release come out, I loved it. I absolutely did. And this is what sports like hockey needs. If you're not baseball or football, you need notoriety in ownership to get people interested, especially for a new franchise too. And you take two individuals that are rooted to Seattle, right? Marshawn Lynch helping to bring them a Super Bowl, almost two, if he had gotten the ball on that play and Russell didn't throw an interception.
Pete Carroll,
Pete Carroll, what a dingus. So and Marshawn Lynch is always, I mean, think what you want about him. Not only is he hilarious and he can act too, but he's so smart. So incredibly smart. And, you know, obviously telling younger players, take care of your mentals, take care of your monies. Like he did it right. He took care of his monies, bought into an NHL franchise. Macklemore did the same thing too. And now you have a brand new franchise, which didn't do as well as a lot of people had hoped because everybody was catching the high off the Golden Knights when they came in and went to the Stanley Cup their first year. Kraken, not that successful. Not that good, but in years to come they will. But now you have this great franchise in Seattle that has celebrity ownership. I mean, and look what happened when Jay-Z bought a piece of the Nets too. I mean, it was a buzz, obviously, because it was the Nets moving to Brooklyn, but it was also because, Jay-Z's a part owner. Like that, you just have this notoriety to it. I honestly just think it's so much better for the game in itself, and more people honestly will turn to it and watch because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt. So I know Marshawn Lynch owns part of an Oakland MLS team. He's bought in, or he's helped the Seattle Storm. I know he's actively in the campaign to bring the Supersonics back to Seattle. It's great, and obviously with Macklemore, I'm sure he's a lot more popular up there. I'm sure he does a lot of local stuff, and I don't know if he's still making music or whatever he's doing. I know he was wildly popular. Maybe
I can't imagine he stopped, but he could have. I don't know.
I mean, and he probably, it's once you get hot, you can sit there at home and make money out just touring in your region and never touch the national spotlight again and be perfectly fine. But this for the Seattle Kraken specifically, and we've seen this at Rangers games, right? They're expanding to more pop culture stuff, right? They have Pauly D doing DJ sets.
The Rangers have DJ sets all throughout the season, not just Pauly D, like Afrojack and some other notable like house music dudes who are in there. I don't know, EDM, I don't know what you call that genre, but they were in there and they were crushing it in between periods. So they are bringing more pop culture to it. Yeah.
Which is cool. So you have basically a Seattle legend. Well, I guess both of them. I would say Seattle legends. Trying to bring something to Seattle. Marshawn Lynch has a lot of cachet. He'll bring some celebrities up there. He'll bring some eyes and make some money for that market. Hopefully, obviously it'll all hinge on the team. The team they're an expansion team. This is normal behavior. Again, like you said, we were spoiled by the Vegas Golden Knights. But typically this is how expansion franchises are supposed to be. They're supposed to suck for the first couple years. And I mean, the Charlotte Bobcats, for example, I mean, they just, the bad thing was they sucked the entire time they were around until they went away.
That's what you have to avoid, right?
Right. The Thunder, even though the Seattle Supersonics had drafted Kevin Durant, his first few years, him and Westbrook together, weren't that great. They were a young franchise and then they got good. That's what you hope for. You draft well, You draft some superstar talent. And Seattle will get there. The Kraken will get there. At least I hope, because they have the best identity in hockey. Easily.
They do. I mean, their concept I mean, even before, was so well thought out from start to finish.
Their jerseys are still, their merch is like, I look at their merch, I'm like, oh my god. When I saw Macklemore and Marshawn Lynch doing the press conference, and they had the jerseys and they had all the stuff around,
nicest sweaters. They do. I
was like,
I mean, but even the Golden Knights too. Like I have to be in Vegas later on in the summer for business, and I already know for a fact, like, I'm just gonna spend merch on Golden Knights stuff, and I'm a Ranger fan. Like this is, I mean, you just find cool shit, you go with it. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be good for that franchise. They're gonna get there. Plain and simple. They're gonna grow through the years, make the right trades, make the right free agent signings, and then draft well, and they'll be competing just like everybody else.
And remember who supported you first, Seattle. It was Bert and Jerm from Stuff About Sports, part of the Give Us a Shot Network. We were pining for you guys way before the ice started freezing on that beautiful arena you have over there.
Way before Jeff Bezos decided to build that sustainable arena for you, you know?
Yeah. Jeez, Jeff Bezos.
Lex
this
Luthor.
guy, Lex Luthor out here. Hey, Elon Musk. I know we weren't talking about Elon Musk, but every time somebody talks about Jeff Bezos, I think about Elon Musk.
You put the two of them together.
For some reason they go together.
They do.
Hey, if you buy Twitter, unban me, unlock my stuff, because this is bad. Freedom of speech is being attacked, and I'm sick of it. All right, I should be able to call somebody a fucking asshole on Facebook without going to jail.
You certainly have that right. Unfortunately, there are consequences that
there
come
are
with
consequences,
it. But you have the right to say that. You know.
Bert, I also think it was me photoshopping future crack whore on a guy I was arguing with, cheerleading his daughter's cheerleading picture. That might have had a little. Probably can't do that. Yeah, that
probably can't. No,
probably can't do that. All right, so let's play a little fair or foul. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. Deebo Samuel requesting a trade, Bert, from the San Francisco 49ers, citing that he wants to be a wide receiver. He doesn't want to be the gadget guy anymore. So is that fair or foul?
Foul.
It's foul, right?
He is a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Let's not say to request a trade when you've done nothing to prove yourself, just because you're bent out of shape. You have the right to, but it's lose-lose, right? Everybody in your current franchise is going to think you're an asshole. And if you do get traded somewhere for anything, if you don't produce where you're going to, you're going to be that guy. And maybe that's going to be extra effort for him to work harder and make sure he's not, but you haven't done shit so far. You haven't. Have you had some good seasons? Yep. Have you won a trophy? Nope. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be a hot commodity based on the season he had. And when I saw that he came out with his trade request, the first thing I thought was he basically went in there and said, hey guys, fuck Trey Lance. You guys, you gave me all these bullshit quarterbacks, CJ Beathard, Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo was cool, but he was always hurt.
Yep.
And now you're moving on from Jimmy, and it's not a coincidence that we didn't hear any of this stuff from him, the frustrations from him, until the news broke a couple of days ago that said, officially, Trey Lance will indeed be the starter, and not Jimmy Garoppolo. And now, Samuel stuff is coming out. The other part that's hilarious is that the Bronco fans think they're just going to all of a sudden get every single person that becomes available, because they're like, yeah, come to Denver, man.
We're rebuild. Come on to Denver. Yeah.
We have unlimited money, apparently.
Russell save us.
Yeah.
They do have money to spend.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's going to have to be traded. Yeah. So this is going to be like, oh, well, what are you willing to give up? And I don't know if they have the assets to give up to get a Demo.
The problem with him is you have to embrace that, right? Like you're going to be the gadget guy no matter where you go, because that's where your value is. So I'm not a fan. I think also this is foul. One, you honor your contract. Two, that's where your value is. Force your way to get paid. Jimmy Graham did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, he was a tight end who they used as a wide receiver, and he made them pay him as a wide receiver. So,
Yeah.
you got to do stuff like that.
Jimmy was also the best, one of the best at his positions too,
yeah,
right? And the fact that he's not disclosing his legit reason as to why he's asking for a trade just even makes him more of a risk from a franchise standpoint. It's like, and I've said this time and time again, when guys don't have legit reasons as to what they want to do, you're only going to make yourself a risk for the franchise, because at what point are they going to outweigh the reward for the risk of them just fucking that franchise over too, you know?
yeah, yeah. All right, Bert. The Wimbledon tennis banning Russian and Belarusian players from competition. Fair or foul?
Foul. I think this is the dumbest thing in the world. And the second this headline came out, I had to watch that fucking Keith Olbermann come out and say, "Oh, the NHL should do this too." Fuck you, Keith. You don't know what you're talking about. The only reason you're still relevant is for some reason ESPN and then HBO actually gave you more of a chance to spit at the camera as you fucking spewed your horrible takes on everything. But this is bad. Look, just because a country is acting a certain way doesn't mean you punish every single individual that comes from that country. Our private companies now in the United States have to go back and say if they employ any Russians, they're going to tell them they can't work for them anymore because they're standing united with the support for Ukraine. Now, I'm in full support of the Ukraine and what's going on in there, and I think Russia is in the wrong, but you have Russian citizens that are playing in major league sports, including tennis, hockey, and other sports too, that don't agree with the politics that are going on there. Now, if those organizations find out that they have ties to political leadership and they're in support of what's going on in Russia, then it's time for a conversation to say, hey, you have two options here. One, you can excuse yourself because we don't agree with it. You don't align with the values of us being their private employer, or you fall in line and express your support and go from there. But the only thing they're doing, tennis, and if hockey decides to do this, which they won't, is just putting those individuals and their families at risk because of whatever ties that they have still in Russia. Plain and simple. It's so dumb and ridiculous. It's 100% foul.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. The players, they're not Russian troops invading Ukraine.
Exactly.
I felt the same way when I read that the Russian markets in Philadelphia were being vandalized and attacked.
Yeah.
I don't. But I also felt the same way about the people who were antagonizing Asian people after COVID, and obviously we were younger, but you hear the stories of anybody of any type of Middle Eastern descent who weren't even from Afghanistan because people were ignorant and stupid attacking like sheiks, you know, of those people. It's like, it's very frustrating. It's ignorant. I don't know about I understand the politic behind it. I really do. So from a morality standpoint, I can't stand it. However, logically, strategically, I kind of get it. So, I mean, I can say it's fair, but I don't think sports, and as intertwined as sports and politics seem to always be, I don't think it should always be that way. It shouldn't be that way here. These players are just out there trying to compete. You're punishing a small group of people who have nothing to do with their country. It's not the Olympics. I think I would understand it more if it was an Olympic thing.
That's a little bit more in line because you're in representation of your country.
Yeah,
that's why, and that's why when when all these Russian athletes got banned for performance enhancing and they're all tied together, I get it. They just banned Russia because of the obviously the illegal activities and related to sports for the Olympics. So that's understandable, but not for when they play in other professional leagues. That's just ridiculous.
All right, Bert, last one. The New York Mets are the best team in New York, best baseball team in New York.
I mean, foul?
No. Oh,
You actually want me to say fair on that one? No,
I
absolutely can't. Thanks for trying to bait me, though. I don't even care if the Yankees have a losing record this year.
Yeah.
They're losing. Just very
Did you just lose to the Orioles?
But we...
Drop onto the Orioles.
Man, it's not. Look, it's early in the season. We do this shit every year. Here's what happens: the Yankees start out dropping games to shitty teams. The Mets end their season like that, and that's the difference. Where the Yankees 9 times out of 10 roll into the postseason, the Mets miss it by the smallest of margins. So I will never, ever, unless at the end of the year, the Mets are the ones raising that trophy, I will never admit that they're the better New York team. It can't happen. I won't.
You refuse to let it happen. It's all good. Yeah. So uh, before we move on to the game ball, Friday, April 22nd, Mike will be in town with me in Leland. We are going to do our live show from the Brunswick Beer Exchange. We are going to interview the owner, Shannon, who is an ex-firefighter. We're gonna rate their beers. We're gonna give some exposure to a really good business that opened up in my town. They're very excited to have us. So if you can check out our live feed and share it, and once we go live, I'd really appreciate that. I want to try to get them as much exposure. I'm very grateful for Mike taking time out of his vacation to come hang out with me and my family and all that good stuff. And so yeah, if you're in Leland, North Carolina, come check us out. 5 to 7. I'm going to be tired that day too. I have live fire training that morning from 8 to like 3. So it's going to be a long day, but it'll be worth it. Bert, who do you want to give your game ball to, bro?
I'm giving my game ball, and look, we're men of sports and international sports and international leagues too. There is a pitching phenom in Japan right now, Saya Suzuki, who refuses to let batters on base. He's already pitched a no-hitter in 10 games. Jesus, he's slashing 4.29, 5.46, 9.29 with 4 home runs. Fucking thing popped up.
Yeah.
And 11 runs batted in. But on top of that, man, he is just killing it in the pitch game. I think 1.16 ERA through 31 innings pitched.
Lord.
And only surrendered 4 runs. He's going to be another. Now, I don't think he's eligible to be in the MLB yet because of some sort of international draft rules. But they're talking about him like the next Shohei Ohtani. Like he is absolutely killing it all around. He gets my game ball, and he hasn't allowed a base runner in 17 innings. That was as of yesterday afternoon.
Wow.
Excuse me, Roki Sasaki, who is the pitcher. I think I said someone else before.
It was close enough.
Yeah. So yeah, game ball all around.
Hey, shout out to him. We talked about this when they changed a lot of these rules for MLB. It's going to just garner more international talent. I know MLB is talking about using Japan's baseball, which I believe has texture to it, and I believe it's bigger. I believe it's slightly bigger than the American MLB ball. So,
I mixed up. So so Saya Suzuki is the rookie who's playing in the NFL. In the MLB right now. They're talking about, and of course it goes in conjunction with Shohei Ohtani too. But yeah, it's Roki Sasaki who is in the Japan League right now and just absolutely tearing it up.
My game ball is going to go to the logo, Jerry West, who went on a rampage because he was upset about this his portrayal in the Lakers documentary HBO series that depicted him as an angry drunk teammate who
they depicted him as absolutely crazy,
as a batshit crazy dude.
Furious about it.
Yes, and I think I would be too. And I get it, man. If the Lakers really struggled that first year with Magic, then nobody would want to watch it. I understand you have to add a little bit of drama to it. However, you can't just defame a guy who is the logo of the NBA, who is, by all accounts that I've seen, been nothing but an upstanding NBA citizen. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I'm glad he's sticking up for himself. He shouldn't. You shouldn't have to take that if you had a problem with it. I don't think he wants anything done. He just kind of wants an apology from HBO. I will say I did watch some of this documentary, and nothing against. Well, I'm not. If he's upset, he's upset. I get it, but his character's easily a top 3 character on that show. I thought it was hilarious. It was entertaining, but I do understand if you feel defamed, you would kind of want that air cleared.
If you don't think it best represents you and what you brought to that organization too, I understand why he's pissed. But I mean, that kind of just shows you who the guy is, where he kind of takes like his overall, appearance and actions and what he did, and if it feels as though it's being misrepresented, he wants it corrected because he's very much about who he is, and he doesn't want people thinking ill or differently of it. I totally understand, but to that too, I mean, I have to say, sit back and count your money, man. Like you've done it. You don't need to prove anything. It's an HBO series, but yeah, look, at the very least, just issue an apology, HBO. Come on.
Yeah.
Do everything.
It's easy to do. And that's my responsible give us a shot network answer. The irresponsible, reckless germ answer is fuck off, Jerry West. It's a TV show. It's not a documentary. Stop crying. So that's really what I wanted to say when I first heard it. But I think I do understand. I don't think he's the logo, man. You should treat him with some respect, even though his character's awesome in the show.
That's all he's got right now. He was probably watching the show, and he's probably like, oh, I can't wait to see what they did, like how they represent me. And he's
oh my god,
probably saw it, he's like, what the fuck is this?
He probably he had his family around, his grandkids, his great grandkids. They're like sitting on his lap, and he's like, this is how great Pop used to do it. Yep. And like the first scene, he's smoking cigars, banging chicks in the Lakers locker room. It's like, oh no, I never really did that.
Not me, no.
And, girls looking in the corner like, Grandma.